Hello everyone and welcome to TNT, that is Theories and Thoughts. Today we will have a special kind of episode. Why is it special? Well, we are going to pick up where we left off actually. In the last video, I made a brief summary of Grand Theft Auto Advance. In this episode, we are going to talk about something related to Grand Theft Auto Advance, except that this thing that we are going to talk about is not really real. It does not really exist. However, it is just like I said. As the title implies, theories and thoughts, right? So this is just me sharing my thoughts regarding a certain game. Anyways. In the previous video, we have mentioned Grand Theft Auto Advance and the storyline and the plot of the game, as well as the main character Mike from GTA Advance. This time, we are going to dive deep into our imagination with an imaginary sequel to Grand Theft Auto Advance. The title of the sequel is Grand Theft Auto Advance 2. Well, it could have been easier if the game was called something other than Grand Theft Auto Advance. Unfortunately, I am stuck because of the namesake, but regardless, let's consider this episode as a pitch for a sequel to Grand Theft Auto Advance. Let's imagine there is a sequel, and this game is called Grand Theft Auto Advance 2. Grand Theft Auto Advance 2 is only the second Grand Theft Auto game released for the Game Boy Advance. It is a surprise that developers continue to make a Grand Theft Auto game for a very limited hardware, that is the Game Boy Advance. However, this time, a more capable developer was put in charge, and this developer managed to make the most out of the great Game Boy Advance hardware and make a very much reliable and very much playable GTA, which is not short of fun. In fact, it is a lot of fun. Let's dive deeper into the storyline of Grand Theft Auto Advance 2. GTA Advance 2 share a similar setting to the critically acclaimed GTA Vice City. The game takes place in the islands of Vice, and the storyline is set in the year 1985, and it follows the adventures of assassin Leo Teal as he tries to make a name for himself as a hitman in Vice City. For those who don't know, let's take a brief look at Leo Teal. Now, Leo Teal is an assassin. He is one of 3 hitmen who ambushed the deal for the Forelli and the Vance crime family's deal in Vice City in 1986. He was the one who got killed by Tommy Vercetti in the alleyway in GTA Vice City. But in GTA Advance 2, we play as this guy, Mr. Teal. For most of GTA Advance 2, Leo works for a certain person called Mr. Black, and he takes phone calls from the payphone. Mr. Black prefers to call Leo using the payphone, and so Leo obliged. Leo has a cell phone, but with Mr. Black, he always uses the payphone. In the beginning of the game, he does some odd jobs for Mr. Black. Unfortunately, this came to a halt, a temporary halt, because Leo's partner was killed by some unknown assassin. So technically, an assassin's friend got killed by an assassin as well. So this kind of spiced things up, and Leo felt that it was a little bit risky to go on and work for Mr. Black. Besides, Leo began to have a little suspicion regarding Mr. Black. although Mr. Black denies to have any involvement in the death of Leo's friend. While Leo no longer works for Mr. Black for the time being, he still carries on working with people who are involved in the organized crime in Vice City. For example, people like Humberto Robina, leader of the Cuban gang, Uncle Paulo, one of the leaders of the Haitian gangs, Kent Paul, and Ricardo Diaz. He worked with these people to get to the bottom of the problem. He needed to find out who actually killed his friend and exact his revenge. As time went by and after Leo has worked a good amount of time with all those shady characters, Mr. Black would soon give jobs for Mr. Teal again. And he assured Teal that the killers will be found and executed. Mr. Black promised to get to the bottom of things and apparently have leads that may help Leo in his way to revenge. The leads that Mr. Black has are useful for Leo, although Leo insists that he can find the killers on his own. Mr. Black obliges. The final confrontation occurs in the rooftop of a hotel in Vice City, where Leo finishes off members from the Shark Gang who were apparently responsible for the death of his friend. After this job, Teal carried on working for Mr. Black as a hitman. Let's dive into the features of GTA Advance 2. Let's look at some features, for example, the radio stations. Now, there are no radio stations, but some music is played when you enter a car. The game plays chiptunes of songs that you may have heard from the original Vice City game. For example, Act Like You Know by Fat Larry's Band, Crockett's Theme by Jan Hammer, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, Love Fist Fury by Love Fist, and 99 Love Balloons by Nena. These are 5 tracks that are featured in the game. Each of them are limited to at most 2 minutes each, due to the limitations of the cartridge medium of the Game Boy Advance. Therefore, the songs are heavily compressed. Regardless, it is always a good thing when you get chip-tune versions of licensed 80s tracks. The soundtrack is a major improvement compared to the first game. Better yet, the songs can be shuffled. That means they can be changed. What about the weapons? There's good news here, and that is the weapons range from melee to miniguns. You have a wide range of selection. The developers managed to cram up all the essential weapons, all the way from the original Vice City game into this handheld game that is GTA Advance 2. Also interesting to point out is that there is a lock-on feature. Yes, that's right, you can lock on your targets in the game with the R button on your Game Boy Advance, and you fire with the A button, just like in the original game. However, the original game did not have a lock-on feature, so this new edition of a lock-on feature for Grand Theft Auto Advance 2 is very convenient. Unfortunately, there is a side effect, that is, you are not able to strafe in GTA Advance 2, unlike in the previous game where the R button is used to strafe, but this time you cannot do that. Overall, GTA Advance 2 is a major improvement if you compare it to the previous game. It should receive a modest rating for a handheld game, and perhaps an overall rating of 8 out of 10, simply because it thrives with all the limitations of the hardware, and it really has the look and feel of an actual GTA game, and is a lot more fun in comparison to its predecessor. The topic that is discussed in this video is simply the opinions and thoughts from myself. I love to share my opinions and thoughts to you guys, and I would also love to hear your opinions and your thoughts in the comment section below. You can give your opinions on anything related to GTA or maybe unrelated. Just share it in the comment section below and I will do my best to respond to it. Thank you.